Konnichiwa minasan, Marina desu. Today is the fourth episode of Frill Talk, and today I have the lovely guest Kimbuucha with me. Say hi, Kim.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad. This is the first time that we're meeting, even though we've probably been talking to each other for a while on Instagram.
I know. I'm so happy to be here because I'm really excited about this series. So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So tell me, Kim, what style of J fashion do you wear, and how long have you been wearing it?
I primarily wear Lolita fashion, and I've been wearing it for I think 5 years. Sometimes I'll wear like himekaji, and I try to do gyaru, but I don't do it very well. So Lolita.
Okay, so how were you first introduced to Lolita or just J fashion in general?
So I kind of knew about J fashion like before I went to college. But then I went to college and then I was like, you can't wear this in college. And then I grew up and then I went to an anime convention and then I saw these beautiful women walk by and I was like, oh, where are they going? They're dressed really cute. And then there was a Lolita fashion show and then I watched it and I was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna
Oh,
wear Lolita now.
oh wow, that's so awesome. Was that like your first anime convention or no?
Yes, that was the first anime convention I went to, and I was like volunteering at it, and that's how I like got hooked.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So Kim here has done a couple of collaborations with myself and several other Black Lolitas. So the Kawaii Melanin collab, if you haven't watched that yet. So today we're gonna talk with Kim about some of her experiences in J fashion. So starting off, really I want to hear your life as a Black person in Lolita fashion. Have you had any negative experiences in the J fashion? And if you have, I would also love to hear positive experiences in J fashion.
Okay. Um, Overall, my experiences have actually been pretty good. I'd say most of my negative ones have been like just people on the street, like being nosy and like feeling so entitled to know like what are you wearing and what's going on. And it's just like, can you not? Can you be a normal human for a second? Um, but a lot of other the only other negative experiences not in real life have been online and just kind of looking at the stuff that goes on online. It's just like but overall my experiences have been pretty positive. I get a lot like when we could go out like in person. A lot of old ladies love Lolita fashion. They're just like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute." And like little girls, so I that's like my favorite whenever I wear Lolita and I go outside and it's just like old people and little girls that are just like the princess.
Yeah, it's the princess or little Bo Peep.
Yeah, grown men, little Bo Peep. Where's your shoes? Oh,
Those are
cool.
great. So, since you've been wearing J fashion for a little while, and quite honestly, you're probably one of my inspirations, and I love all your cords. Has there ever been a time like when back when we used to go to physical meetups that you've ever felt, I guess, being uncomfortable in a meetup, whether it was someone said something to you, like just in a shady, weird way?
Hmm. I mean, I've gotten comments about like the way people will phrase like something looks good on you. And I don't know, some might say maybe you read into it too much, but like as a black person, sometimes you know when someone is saying something as like a slight of like, this looks good on you as a black person, right? So I've gotten comments like that before, and it's just like, oh, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a almost like a back slap of a compliment, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like you could just say, hey, you look good instead of being like, that looks good on you. You could just
Yeah.
say that looks good.
Just because your skin is a little tiny bit lighter than yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't have to, like I think it's hard sometimes for people because they look at things through, like, a lens of, um I don't know. I live for the day where it doesn't matter. what skin color I am, right? Like if I wear a Lolita, you just see me as a Lolita, not like necessarily as like a black Lolita. But I think a lot of people, because they see so few black Lolitas, they have to make it like a point to be like, wow, you look good for a black Lolita. And it's like, you just say you look cute as a Lolita.
Yeah.
It's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, or just say, I love your cord. That's
Yeah.
well cool. That's probably the greatest.
Right? Yeah.
So then in that regards, I'm gonna tell you something to fill in the blank, and I'll give you a minute after I tell you the phrase. You will fill in the blank of anything that pops up. Shit that white Lolitas say.
Okay, I have two.
Okay.
Okay, you can choose whichever one you want.
Or both.
The first one is keep your politics out of the fashion. A lot of things that have been coming up in regards to Lolita fashion, Jfashion, and diversity and Black Lolitas. I don't see that as a political issue. I see that as a humanitarian issue. So the like thing of saying like let's keep politics out of Jfashion is like you don't want to actually talk about humanitarian issues ever. And humanitarian issues affect us in all facets of life, no matter what we're wearing. So I don't understand that. Um, and then the other one is nothing, right? Don't say anything. So if there's like very important humanitarian things going on, like people will see things that are against what they'll practice or what they'll say they believe in. And then it's just like, I'm not going to say anything to this person, whether it be their family members or their significant other or their friends. And like, it is everyone's responsibility to stand up for what is right. And by not doing that, can be a little cowardly. So yeah.
Yeah, so inaction is also not always the best thing to do.
Yeah. And like, I'd say sometimes there might be like a fine line between being performative and actually being active. But like, if you are actively seeing something that is very wrong, I don't see how you couldn't be like, I don't know how you sit there and be like, I'm just going to turn the other cheek or I'm just going to turn away, right? Like the civil rights movement would not have gotten to where it was if there weren't people that didn't look like us also fighting for what was right. So like it takes an entire army of people to make change. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Alrighty, so next topic, we're going to talk about social media experiences in J fashion. So I believe you're also a part of these two groups, but there are two big J fashion groups on Facebook that are predominantly Black. Um, one is the Black Jfashionista Society and Black Lolita Community. How important are these groups for people of the African diaspora, Black people in J fashion?
So I actually did know about the Black Jfashionista Society, and I'm gonna go join that because I need to, because it sounds amazing. But the Black Lolita community groups like these are so important, and I think like it is hard for someone who doesn't understand what it's like to be the only one, right? Like we get tired of being the only one, whether that's in our neighborhood or the classroom or a school or the workplace. And like it is nice to be around other people that look like us, that have the same experiences. We can talk about things that are very specific to us, whether that's what's going on in the world or how can we do crochets and put braids in it or like whatever. They're incredibly important to feel like you have a sense of community around people that you can freely have conversations with and get inspiration from. And I kind of wish these spaces existed in other areas as well. So they're incredibly paramount, I think, to people feeling comfortable and accepted.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So aside from Black J Fashionista, would you say you're pretty or at least active in Black Lolita community?
I don't post as much as I'd like to, but when I see discussions or questions or suggestions or articles get posted, I do participate in those when I can. I try not to be on Facebook too much, which could be a challenge, but
Mhm.
there are some really good like links to dresses that I didn't know that came out or resources and things like that. And so I do try to like kind of keep on top of that as much as I can and help people when they, have questions about stuff.
Mm, okay. So, since we are seeing more virtual Lolita events, do you think we'll still see a lot after the pandemic dies down?
Yeah, I do. I also, like, as you probably know, I've been doing like live streams and stuff, and I'm a part of like a live streaming community. And there's been a lot of conversations about how this is gonna be the future, probably post pandemic, because a lot of things aren't like, I think there's life before COVID and there's life after COVID. And I don't think a lot of things are going to go back to the way they were, like huge concerts. I don't know if that's really going to be like a thing anymore. Um, Huge like conventions or like expos and things like that. I think they're going to look different. And as people have started to like invest more in like online things and technology and equipment and things like that, it's going to be a lot easier to bring together people across the whole world. Um, Easier and more cost effective. So yeah, long-winded answer. I see this still kind of continuing because people are like really tapping into it now. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So for Lolita mods, so moderators, admins of a online Lolita community, do you have any suggestions for creating their local comms safer for Black folks and for really for their POC members?
Hmm. Are these
That would
moderators?
be white led, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should
um,
specify.
Representation is like incredibly important. And we all learn from each other when we all have different experiences. And having people from different backgrounds, different genders, different identities is really important to curating and building a community that everyone feels welcome in. And if you have a group where the majority of the people have the same views or like they have the same um they look the same and they have the same experiences, we don't necessarily learn from each other and we don't grow from each other, and you can't, it's hard to foster that kind of community. So I think incorporating like other people aside from just white people will really help with that. um Recognizing and listening to people when they bring up issues instead of just like brushing them off is really, really important. And being able to be, you know, um, impartial, I guess, when there are disputes as well. Like I hear disputes happen and people are like, oh, well, that's my friend. And I don't think they would ever do that. Uh, like that's, if you're going to be a moderator, I feel like you have to be like the voice of reason, and the voice of reason listens to both sides. And usually one side, there's something in the middle that's true, or like especially when we're talking about like race, like I don't know, black people have been black their whole life and we're not just making stuff up to make stuff up. So being able to recognize that and listen to that and then actually do something about it instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, we hear you and we're sorry. Like actually make an attempt to make a community feel like a community is really important.
I agree. So, how do you feel about the current state of social media and Lolita slash J fashion? I think your face says it all. Is there something lacking in terms of content creation or perhaps a new social platform is needed? How do you feel is the current state of Lolita and J fashion?
It feels so the way I feel about the current state of J fashion and social media is one, people put way too much emphasis on like vanity metrics, which are like likes, I feel like. And so when people put a lot of emphasis on that, that can really affect their mental health if they don't feel like they're getting the same amount of likes on a picture like a month before, I guess. Um, I think the Lolita community in social media is really, really divided given some things that have surfaced in the past couple of weeks. And I think some people shouldn't be on social media. I think some stuff is better said Um, privately, um, I also think there should be more diversity as far as content creators and Lolitas that we do constantly see circulating on social media. I think it's very much the same people over and over, and a lot of people get discouraged by that. So they don't go to social media or they don't post, they don't start their channels, they don't start their blog, they don't start their podcast or whatever because they feel like they can't because they don't see other people that look like them. And yes, this is very much to Black and brown creators, but we could also probably say the thing for um, transgender Lolitas or male Lolitas, right? Like I don't really see those people very often. Where are those people at? I'm tired of seeing the same people over and over, right? I think a lot of people are either on Instagram or Facebook, and they're both owned by the same parent company. And a lot of people have feelings about that. So I would love to see there be a platform dedicated to Lolita that is just for us. So we don't have to fight with normal people who are trying to fetishize. Is that a word? Fetish?
Yeah, I think so.
Who are trying to rope that in. And it's like, you can't get in here with your nastiness. Get out of here. But whether or not we can have something like that, I don't even know. I would love to see something like that. I don't know. And it feels like we're like constantly fighting with the algorithm, right? Like people have YouTube channels who've been having channels for years, and we're just now finding out about those YouTube channels from minorities. And it's like, why have I never seen this before? Like, how do we make that better so we can see more of that? So we can have more diversity and representation and inclusion because we all learn from each other when we all talk about our different experiences.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's a very
So
long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. This is all about you. You're talking, not me.
Nope.
Okay, so next we're gonna talk about anime conventions and Jfashion focused events. So, what has been your favorite anime convention that you have been to?
Anime specific, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's probably gonna be SoccerCon, which is in Seattle, Washington. Um,
What makes that so special for you then?
that's like the one convention that my friends and I like go to. We make like a whole weekend out of, and like we do like a ton of we'll do like shopping and like eating out, and you get like the whole con experience. But SoccerCon was the first anime convention I went to where a J fashion brand went, and I applied for the fashion show and I got selected to be in the fashion show, which is wild
Wow.
because
Oh, I
we all
I
know
think I
most.
remember you mentioned this in the video. Yeah, I think I remember this.
I think it's very rare that we see Black and brown people in J fashion shows or ads or flyers or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so then what's your favorite J fashion event or a anime convention that has like a prominent J fashion community?
that would be Paradiso because that's the only one I've been to. I've missed out on like the RuffleCon era. I really wish I could have been able to go to some of the events, but I couldn't. So yeah, Paradiso is the only J fashion specific event that I've been to, and it was a lot of fun because it's nice to like be around your people, right? Like these are my people, these are my frills. And it was really nice to meet like a ton of people that you follow on social media, and you're like, oh hey, I've seen you so much on Instagram. Oh hey, you recognize me. Oh, let's be friends. So yeah, that was really great.
So, since many cons were delayed, canceled due to, the ongoing global pandemic, how do you feel cons will be in regard with bringing Japanese J fashion guests coming in the next couple of years? Do you feel like we will see less J fashion guests and brands, or how do you feel?
Oh, I want I want to believe that we'll see more because um I think I mean I'm doing a lot of speculating here, but I feel like Japan, a big part of their economy is tourism, and they haven't really had any tourism. So like in 2022, like I'm hoping that like they're just like, let's go everywhere and make back this yen. But I think a lot of people might be kind of scared to travel again because of COVID. And like, yeah. I would love to feel like more cons will be able to bring J fashion guests and be able to do that. Although there's some brands that like are really like digging into the Western Lolita community, like Atelier Perot, I feel like is one of them that's really like, all right, we're gonna start catering more to our Western frilly friends. I feel like Netta also, the fact that, you know, and Closet Child, like I feel like they're starting to be like, all right, we realize there's more demand globally than we thought there was. So maybe they'll tap into that and start branching out to go to more events in 2022. Keeping my fingers crossed because going to Japan is expensive. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I hope also to visit Japan in the next couple of years. So, are there any cons specifically? It could be anime or J fashion focused. That you would that when the pandemic ends, you want to go immediately when it's safer to do so. Is there anyone that you have in mind?
Yes.
Which
Royal Vegas online. I'm really looking forward to. Never been to Vegas in my life. I really want to go and party. Also, it's like an hour and a half away from here.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, or it might be like 2 hours, but Vegas is pretty close to Portland. So really hoping to go to that. And the whole event just sounds really cool. There's going to be a lot of panels. And I'm also helping out with that event and I miss helping run conventions. So yeah, ton of fun. I'm hoping that we can do that. Um, I would love to go to a Dragon Con someday. Never been to Dragon Con. Uh, but I
I
would
don't
like
think
to be
I've
able to
ever heard
go.
of that. Where is it?
I think it's in Atlanta. It's like the big black convention in Atlanta. There's that
Oh.
one.
Oh, because I
Yeah.
know of BlurredCon, which has a lot of black people too. I've
That
never
one
heard
too.
of.
Yeah, cuz that one's in
I
like the
forget which
DC
area.
area.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to live there, so I still have family that lives there, so I could like go stay with them. BlurredCon is one, yes, and then Dragon Con, and then Royal Vegas Online. And I would love to go to a street fashion Europe if that ever comes back.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, being able to like travel internationally with friends in another country sounds amazing.
It does. It really does. Okay, so next segment we're gonna talk about Black Lolita YouTubers slash influencers and white Lolita YouTubers slash influencers. So Kim, as a fellow Lolita YouTuber, how do you feel about the lack of popular Black Lolita YouTubers?
Um, I don't know. I'm over it. like, again, I think it's really hard for people who aren't a minority to understand that like we're tired of being the only ones, or we're tired of like feeling like we're putting in just as much work, if not more work, and it's like doesn't really seem to get the same kind of traction. Um, I would love to see more black and brown um, popular Lolita YouTubers get recommended because there are people out here putting in the work, making videos, making good content that's like different kinds of content. And it's like people like they don't know about it, or because it's not the same person that they've been seeing for a while, they don't trust it. And so they don't give it a chance. And it's a little it's a little disheartening sometimes. And I think it's also really discouraging for people who've been doing content to be like, I've been doing this for so long and no one, it feels like they're not getting appreciated and then they just like stop. And it's like, I want you to keep going. So if they had more of um, visibility and there were more people watching their content and encouraging them, that encourages them to keep going. And it also encourages other people to start and to also keep going. So,
If someone were to want to create a J Fashion or Lolita YouTube channel, what are some advice or tips or anything that you would suggest to them?
um, uh, first tip would be go ahead and start because like you're like I don't know, the whole like get out of your own way mentality. I think a lot of people are afraid and they're like, well, I gotta wait till I get a camera, or I gotta wait till I get this, or I gotta wait till I have this. And it's like, go ahead and start. People will love you for you. And like, you don't have to try and pretend to be anyone different, like be yourself, because everyone brings something different to the table. So people will fall in love with your personality and the content that you do if you are yourself. Um, and then I would also say, um, try not to compare yourself to other people as well, because that can also be really discouraging as well. But go ahead and start and believe in yourself and be yourself, and you'd be surprised the people who will fall in love with you. So yeah.
So if a white YouTuber, specifically Lolita or Jfashion, that might have an audience and wanted to have more Black POC oriented content, how do you think they should go about it, or what are some suggestions for them?
Like, you know who the other Black people, like, you know who these people are. You see them on your Instagram, you see them on your YouTube, like, message them. Sometimes I'll see people that are like, they'll make Instagram posts and they're like, I'm calling for more Black content creators. And it's like, you're following 100 Black people. Like, why don't you just message those people? It feels a lot more personal. It feels more authentic and genuine. Like, people, I'm telling you, like, I would love, right, to like talk about my experiences, and I'm sure other people would also love, probably, yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume you, but like probably you, if someone was like, hey Marina, like I want to hear you talk about your experience on my channel, you'd be like, hell yeah. Like, I just reach out to people. Like, we live in this era of like, we don't know how to talk to people anymore, and it's like so weird. um so yeah, just talk to people, message them. You see them on Instagram, you see them tagged in posts, like send them a DM. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's almost like, I guess, white people are afraid to reach out to Black people or just people of color in general and ask them for help, even though, like, I never understood that mindset. So I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons why we haven't until recently really seen more, or I guess more content that highlighted BIPoC folks. So
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't like, and you don't have to like, I would live like, I understand the need to like publicize it and be like, look at this thing I'm doing. I'm going to showcase Black people. But if you truly, I feel like if you genuinely cared and wanted to uplift voices and you wanted to spotlight people, you could do that in the shadows and then bring it up. And people would be like, dang, look at what they did. Like, they're not doing it for views. They're not doing it for clout. They're not doing it to be like, look at this thing I did because it's Black History Month. Here's a Black person. Okay, bye. Like, you actually were making moves when no one else saw that, and you did it because you genuinely wanted to, right? Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like people do things to act like they care, and then they don't.
yeah, I feel like that you're more likely to make more mistakes if you tread it weirdly.
Yeah, yeah, and like, yeah. So if you are a content creator and you want to showcase and highlight and have spotlights for other people on your platform, because sharing is caring, you can just reach out to people and do that and then bring that forth. And to me, it just feels a lot more genuine that
Mhm.
way.
I agree. So what are some sorts of content that you personally would love to see or more of among like the Lolita content creation space? Whether it could be collaborations or stuff like that.
Hmm. I think collaborations are really fun, especially when you are showcasing each other's like styles, personalities, and things like that. Um, I want to see more um conversations around the more difficult topics that people can face in Lolita fashion. I know we talk a lot about like, here's our pretty dresses and like, here's my wardrobe, but like, there are things that can affect people on a humanitarian level when they're wearing these clothes that would be good to also hear discussions around. Um, I also would like to see more people uplifting and promoting other people. I've kind of said it before, but like YouTube and Instagram, like you can follow multiple people It's not just like one person and that's it. Like I can follow however many people I want. I can subscribe to however many channels I want. It's not a competition. So seeing more of that would be really important. Um, I want to see more fun stuff, like game shows. I love game shows. So if someone ever did like a Lolita game show, I would be here for it with the fake Steve Harvey mustache, maybe like a pink one. I don't know.
I know Fluffy Kawaii Joe, she does like the Lolita in Action series. Like,
Yes.
yeah, those are so interesting. Like, I feel like people are sleeping on that.
No,
Like,
I was.
yeah. Like, I think, like, honestly, like, I would love to see like more just strange like Lolita stuff, and even like people making like documentaries of like Lolita fashion. That's really
Yeah.
cool. That's
No,
really cool.
yes. Yes, I love those as well. I don't know. I just want to see like we get it. Our wardrobes are cute. Let's tackle some of the other fun things or difficult things. Because a lot of times also like there are people who are afraid to talk about this stuff. And like as a content creator, sometimes we have to be that voice for other people who are scared to talk about it. And then that ends up inspiring other people to also talk about stuff. So yeah.
Well, I hope this series becomes like a ripple effect, and I hope more people are not afraid to talk about, because, even though we have our frilly positivity lifestyles, when we take off those dresses, we are still people with our own separate lives. So
Right.
I hope this, I guess, podcast, as I can't believe I made a podcast in 2021, but as
Why
this
not?
yeah, I never thought I would. But I hope this kind of does help people, you know, talk more about these conversations, and not just, in our group chat. So just out and about.
Yeah. Honestly though, like I think this is really great what you've been doing and you've always been really good at trying to uplift other people and you've been really good at trying to have these difficult conversation topics and get the perspectives of multiple people.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm going to film a video after this about why representation and diversity in J fashion is important because you inspired me to make that video cuz yeah, I don't talk about it much. I think I've kind of been like one of those people that are like, I want to be really positive and, I don't know, it's uncomfortable to talk about sometimes, but I'm at a point where it's just like whatever, like fuck it. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I
like
don't care.
um like I owe it to I guess myself and like I shouldn't feel like I can't talk about it. Like I am Black 365 days a year and diversity is important. Like for the first time ever, I now work at a company where I'm like not one of like a handful of Black people. Like there are hundreds of Black people at this company and that is so like powerful. And I want that to be the same thing in Lolita as well. Like I don't want it to be like we feel uncomfortable going to a meetup because we're the only one or we feel like we can't uh apply for a fashion show because we don't like I don't want that to be a thing anymore. And so those are things that we have to keep talking about and over time, we will help influence the makeup and the acceptance in this community.
Perfectly said, Kim. That was great.
Oh, I feel like I ramble a lot, but thank
No,
you.
no, of course. There's no rambling here. It's all good vibes. So Kim, tell me, because I know you've been pretty popping on Clubhouse. So tell me about that. I mean, I got your invite, so thank you, and I'm in there too.
Yeah, in these streets in Clubhouse. So Clubhouse is, if you don't know what it is, it's an audio only app where you can just have real-time free-flowing conversations about literally everything. There's like a hallway and in the hallway there's different like rooms that you can go in and they're all titled. Um so I've been in there primarily for like learning about YouTube stuff and like learning about mental health and like there's rooms for like comedy. Like people will do like stand-up comedy and stuff like that. There's like karaoke rooms where people could just go in there and sing and stuff. Um, but there are some other people in J Fashion on Clubhouse, and we've been talking about starting rooms around like J Fashion. So like Lolita Fashion or Decora and You can have like different clubs essentially. So within your club, you can create rooms specifically to whoever's in the club. So you don't have to worry about like someone wandering into your classroom. And it's been a really good app because you can, it's just a free flowing conversation, right? And so sometimes people will give like really good like TED Talks almost for free on this app. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. It was also like really addictive because yeah, it's like who's in this room and what's going on in this room and what's going on in this room. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a couple of rooms the past, I guess, week since I started, and I will admit I can see how it can be addicting because it's like you can just be like washing your dishes and then just having it just out and just listening to people talk because you're not obligated to talk unless you're a speaker, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But I really like it. I mean, it's like in beta or like alpha right now, so it's not like public yet, or at least not on Android yet. So
Yeah.
I hope to see more J fashion rooms whenever it does come more public.
Yeah. So I puke kawaii, Imani is also in the app, and she started a room earlier this week. That was really, I was only in there for a little bit because I had to work, which is the problem, right? Like I want to be on the app all day, but I got to work. So I like can't listen to all the different rooms. But she had a room, and then Fluffy Kawaii Joe is also on Clubhouse, and we're talking about like starting a room to talk about like J fashion stuff. But yeah, it's really easy to just have it on and then just like listen to stuff. There's also, I like it like because there's a lot of like psychologists and like therapists on there, and they talk a lot about like mental health, especially during like COVID. So it's been really good hearing them give like advice to people who are really struggling, because I think a lot of people like we miss each other and like we miss talking to each other, and we miss seeing each other. So that's been really good to be able to like listen to that and then walk away with some sort of goodness. But yeah, it is in beta and it's iOS only, but they are working on an Android version. Um, so yeah.
That sounds awesome. I hope to see more. I mean, I know I think in Raho Chat, someone might have mentioned that they're trying to make like a J fashion or like Lolita specific app. Not sure too many of the details about that. But
Oh
maybe even
yeah.
in like the next couple years we'll get
Yeah.
a platform just for Lolita, which would be interesting.
I would love that because then you don't have to like wade through everyone else, and like it just feels like these are my people and I only have to worry about my people. So
In a way
that would
we
be great.
kind of do with the Amino app, but like even that's been, I guess, kind of dying. So I wonder how it'll be in the future.
Yeah, I was using Amino for a little bit, and I liked it because people would share like their coordinates and stuff, and it'd be good to get like inspiration. Um, I got a lot of social media apps on my phone, so I tried like take breaks. I don't know. I took a break from Clubhouse this week, and that was good for the most part. I wasn't like on it 7 hours a day.
Well, I mean, I know Elon Musk had like a room the other night on Clubhouse. It
Yeah.
probably broke the app for like a couple hours. So,
Yes. So there was like three different rooms, and they had almost like 5,000 people in them. And they were like overflow rooms or whatever. But yeah, Elon Musk was on there. Mark Zuckerberg, I think, was on there yesterday. That's the other cool thing about that app. Like celebrities will just have rooms and just like hang out. Like I was in a room with Tyrese, and he was like going off about people or something, and then he was talking about his new Teddy Pendergrass movie he's working on, and I'm like, am I really listening to Tyrese in real time right now? Like this is crazy. So yeah.
such an exclusive club right now. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens with it though. Like are we really going to be able to have this unlimited like real-time access to celebrities like that? I don't know. But I'm along for the ride. So yeah.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Kim, for being here.
Thank
I really
you. Thank you for
appreciate it.
having
This
me.
is so fun. And I
Yes.
hope everyone at home who's watching just, make sure you are listening to our conversations. And of course, make sure to follow the lovely Kimbuucha on all of her platforms. She also is a fellow YouTuber, so she has a lot of great stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.